Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? This is your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, the channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. Man, so after a while, I got a chance to see the new Superman movie. Now, I'm a big fan of the DCU. I am a fan of Superman. I have watched all the other Superman movies. I think I probably would have rather seen a Nicolas Cage Superman than this one. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. There are a lot of things that were wrong with this one. That I just didn't understand. You had characters that didn't make sense. They weren't believable. They were just kind of silly. Then you had a pocket dimension. Then you had, what is his name? Ultraman, the other Superman without the mask. I mean, with the mask on. Then it was just crazy. Then you had a kaiju. Then you had Crypto. Then you had Supergirl, show up at the end saying thank you for keeping Crypto, and all that. Then it's going to be a Supergirl movie in 2026. This movie, you had Lex Luthor invade the Fortress of Solitude with his superhuman team, and they basically cut down all the robots in the Fortress of Solitude. Now you try to tell me these robots were cheap and, he just destroyed the whole fortress. Then he took one of Superman's prized possessions. He went and took the whole message that the parents sent in the form, when he got older, telling him that they sent him to a planet that he's going to thrive on and he will rule and all of this stuff, man. And I'm like, damn, wow, this is crazy as hell, right? The story, the plot thickens. But the thing that I look at, man, and I want to understand is it's quick how he turned into Omni-Man, ain't it? The people turned his ass into Omni-Man for a second. Man, it was quick. They was throwing damn beer bottles and cans at his ass, man. People were laughing at him, getting beat up. I'm like, this motherfucker fighting for all of y'all, and y'all just do not see the point, man. Like I said, then you had the Justice people come, You had Guy Gardner as Green Lantern. You had Mr. Terrific. You had Hawk Girl. Hawk, and all that stuff, man. And I'm like, these characters look so fucking cheap. Even Metamorpho. They had him in a pocket dimension in the cage with Superman with the green kryptonite actually, killing Superman. And I'm like, come on, man. They had Metamorpho's son. And I'm like, dude, this shit is so crazy. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, you gotta be kidding me, right? I'm like, all the movies before this, man, and I'm gonna be honest, they were really good. They had plots, man. They had storylines that I could understand. The people look believable. Think about it. Look at Superman's parents, man. They weren't believable. I'm like, the characters before Superman was a little more grittier, and the last Superman movie, with what was his name, Henry Cavill or something like that. Yeah, he was a real good Superman. I really enjoyed him playing Superman. Now don't get me wrong, the Man of Steel and Dawn of Justice with hit Batman versus Superman. Now the last hour or two, the last hour of that movie was really good. I look at it this way. I wanted to see what progression we could have had with him as Superman. But you brought this new guy in, and it's like you rebooted the series, man, and it's more cartoon or seem more cartoonish to me. He invaded the country because they were about to kill the people, and the people were turning against him, saying, he overstepped his bounds, and the people actually called for him, asked for help. And, come to find out that Lex was in cahoots with the dictator, man. And then the funniest thing, Lex Luthor had his girlfriends locked up in the pocket dimension, right? Then his girlfriend wanted to date with Jimmy Olsen, so she was getting him all the info on Lex. And I'm like, wait, hold on, this movie ain't making no fucking sense, right? You want the newspaper guy, but you don't want the billionaire guy, right? Dude, as I was constantly listening and looking at the story, man, I was like, I am so thrown off. They were just whooping Superman ass the whole movie. I'm like, why every movie this man get his ass kicked? Destroyed all the damn robots in the Fortress of Solitude, bro. I'm sitting here like, damn, what did they made of toilet paper? The damn metahuman came in there and just cut them all up. I'm like, wow. Damn, she almost killed Superman with the nanites that she put all over his face. They were all in his mouth. I'm like, dude, what is really going on? Y'all gotta make this make sense to me. I wasn't getting it, man. But you know what? I'm not a person that destroys, a movie. It had more of a political view to me than it did of an action view. You know, I believe like the last Superman movies that we watched, they were more, like an action movie. This had action, but this had some shit that didn't make sense in it. I was just so confused. The characters were so forgettable. It was just like even Lois Lane wasn't even. I don't know. It was just like, damn, bro, come on. This movie wasn't for all the parts. Lex is just telling Ultraman, he getting him directions with all the cameras, where to hit him, X-23, X-24, X-5, X-6, so I'm like, damn, man, what are we doing? See, this is what happens when you don't pay attention to nothing. This is what happens when you watch movies and be like, I just had a good time. Dude, I look at it just like this. When I spend my money, I want to make sure I'm going to see something that I'm going to like, man. And I'm looking at the fact with this Superman right now, okay, it made about as much as the first Iron Man made, when it came out. And I'm like, man, why can't we just fine tune shit? Why do we gotta study reboot every damn thing? Hell, honestly, I thought Christian Bale should have been more as Batman in the Justice League. He would have been a badass Batman. Come on, man. It's just all the shit that I'm looking at. Then the Supergirl, come on. It's like, dude, we need some heavy hitting stars, man. We need some people that we gonna recognize and franchise builders. Somebody that you could be like, man, he got some star power. I could see him being Superman. People that you done seen before. This guy may have been around for a minute, man, but I haven't seen him before. Who I would have probably loved to see as Superman? Dude, there's so many people that could actually play Superman. Hell, you could have even took it a whole step forward. You remember they were trying to make Will Smith Superman. But he said Superman has been white since the dawn of time, and he said he don't want to do it. That's when he did Hancock, because he said this would cause too many problems. But you know what? I would have probably loved to see that. I probably would have loved to see Superman or Batman. And they could have just put it at like they're in the ultimate dimensions or alternate realities, Earth such and such. Dude, it would have made sense if you would have gave a little backstory with it. This here, to me, it was a long movie. And the characters just didn't seem like... Okay, Superman was the main character. But Lex Luthor was giving off more... The movie is about me than it was Superman. Then all the metahumans and everybody else had, like, forgettable parts, bro. It's like the parents were forgettable. Lois' ass was forgettable. The damn Justice Society, Justice League, whoever the hell they were forgettable. Mr. Terrific, man, I didn't understand. Guy Gardner's Green Lantern, I'm like, what the fuck, actually? And the Hulk girl, Shiera, she was just like, Hulk, and I'm not like my friends. Hulk, I'm like, really? I'm like, what are we doing? I'm like, the damn cartoons have more violence than the fucking movies do. What are we doing? Why is the cartoons, animated cartoons, that our movies have more violence than the actual movies do? From DC, what are we doing, bro? Come on, that ain't don't make no money. You know, this Superman here was, man, it was like Superman Returns with that other guy, man, that didn't work out. Dude, you had Christopher Reeves, that was a real good Superman, and you had Henry, who was a real good Superman. These other guys, they weren't bad. It was just, I didn't see it, bro. Man, Henry is, you know, to me, my favorite Superman is Henry. Second, Christopher Reeves, man. You know, Christopher Reeves was a good Superman. But, you know, to me, the Supermans that he played in were more cartoonish, more slapstick, you know, more joking and funny and a little bit of action and romance. And, you know, Henry's version was gritty as fuck. He was beating people up. He was getting his ass whooped. It was real, bro. He was getting his ass whooped in real time. I understand Christopher Reeves was too, man, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Different, you know, I don't know. It's just, there's so much they could have did here, man. And I believe they just, if this is what the DCU is going to look like, you need to start over, bro. You know, again, I'm not shitting on people. It was a good movie, but it was missing so much. You know, think about it. Man of Steel, you met Zod in them. You met what they were looking for. You know, they had brought the world engine to the planet. They was going to terraform Earth to make a new Krypton. Here, you got Lex Luthor. Why do we got to keep circling around Lex Luthor? Could we come with new villains? If you want to reboot, the last time you did Superman Returns, you did, you know, you did Lex Luthor, the original Lex Luthor, you know, and Superman with Christopher Reeves. Do we got more villains, bro? Could we use somebody else? We don't need the same damn guy. We could use other people, bro. That's how this shit works. This is why this movie didn't do as well as it could have done. This movie supposed to did $1 billion damn near, in my opinion. But it didn't. It didn't catch people, man. It was too much. It had political issues in it. It had all type of stuff. And it was more comical. I'm like, what are we doing? You James Gunn. You're supposed to push this out there and make it make sense for everybody. But fam, I just want to say, till later, these are just my opinions. And again, my opinions are different from a lot of other people. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's just this movie wasn't for me. I believe it could have been a lot better. I believe everybody in it could, you know, have actually got something more out of it. And I believe it could have made way more money with a memorable cast. It's like a lot of people were forgettable people. It's like you having your phone on cinematic mode, you know, when you filming something and everybody in the background is blurry. You get what I mean? That's what it felt like. But till later, fam, thank you for watching. Don't take my word. Go watch Superman 2025. Let me know what you think of it. But till later, peace out.